want to focus on the things that have made us good all year long, an intensity that they can't match. And the other thing is the ultimate disrespect is when somebody takes what's yours. And this is our game, so that makes it so personal. Dominate on 3. 1, 2, 3, dominate.
I need 60 minutes. 60 minutes to me. 60 minutes. No business, no mercy. Nothing but stop bubble. You got me. We're going to ring the bell. We're going to ring that championship bell.
Ding, motherfucking dog.
The orange ball is on Mitch Jeter's leg. Good snap, good hold, kick on its way, and the kick is good! Yes! Mitch Jeter, with 7 seconds left, gives the Irish a lead, 27-24. Notre Dame is on the precipice.
Notre Dame has won the Orange Bowl.
3rd and 16. Mahomes roll it out. Looking, firing, intercepted. Picked up by Cooper DeJean. Gets a block. DeJean is in. Touchdown.
The Philadelphia Eagles have won Super Bowl 59. They have beaten the Kansas City Chiefs.
And now, welcome everyone to the Huddle Up Podcast.
You are looking live.
Hello, everyone. You are looking live. Huddle Up Podcast, December the 30th, 2025. And we'll do it one more time for the year. And then we get ready to turn the calendar page. And I don't know about you, but I'm very happy about that. But make sure you are following along with us live all season and off season long at Huddle Up Podcast on YouTube, Facebook, Blue Sky, TikTok, and Twitter. You can also get us on Instagram at Huddle Up Podcast Inc. You can get us at Huddle Up Inc. on Twitch. You can also go ahead and scan the QR code, top right corner of your screen. That'll take you to our link tree. That'll get you to all of those places I just mentioned and much more, including our merchandise store, which you can see some of those offerings over there on the TeePublic store. I think some sales may be going on. We also have a new Stranger Things design. So for those getting ready for the big finale tomorrow night, like I am, got my tickets from my local theater, ready to go out and see that. Go ahead and hop over there and grab those. Certainly would appreciate the support on that front. So once again, to kick us off to start the show, just me and Sean. EJ may crash into the studio later, not really sure. But Sean, how we doing this week?
Well, you know we're doing. Football-wise, we survived. Quite a situation there. I'm also looking forward to the Stranger Things. I'm working my way through 5, 6, and 7 for the second time.
Yeah, I've been doing that.
Watched it, read some conspiracy theories, watching it again. So we are.
There are theories aplenty. I actually went back on a friend's advice and rewatched all of the season finales, and am now working my way back through the.
Not a bad plan. Before I started the season, I heard some notes that there were a couple from season 2 and a couple from season 4 that the directors said, "Hey, these would be good ones." Well, then I got sucked into season 4 and I watched all that.
Season 4 is very good.
I've been all over the place. I watched a few season 5s, back to season 4, back to.
Forgot how good the season 3 finale was. The one with the mall.
Oh, the Mind Flare, great.
Mind Flare and all that. That was really good. Went back and actually rewatched the first episode because I feel like they've been mentioning when it all began a lot. Mm-hmm. And like in the opening scene when the kids, and sorry for nerding out a little bit on this one, but
we're nerding. It's fine. It's a big deal.
To start off the show, like when they're playing D&D in the basement, and when the guys are getting ready to leave Mikey's house, Will looks at him and he's like, "It was a 7." He didn't roll the 14. He's like, "It was a 7. The Demogorgon got me." And when he starts riding his bike away, the lights flickered. And I'm like, oh, there was There was. They told
There's
us
a
from
lot.
the beginning.
There's a lot of foreshadowing. Yeah.
That was the thing. So yeah, a lot of foreshadowing. Very excited to probably have my soul ripped out of me
Season
tomorrow.
2, he's the one that's the best at Dig Dug. You know, it's
Yep.
like
Yep. So
great.
going to be in public at a theater watching it. I will probably.
Yeah, I saw. Well, someone else I know down here said their AMC's doing it.
We'll probably be publicly crying very hard.
I don't think I'm going to be able to pull that off, but I'll watch it at home. I'll get the feel,
you
know,
go.
and we'll get through it just like we did the first season when we were locked in our homes.
That's all right. Devin says he couldn't get back into it. He does say he hopes that we all had a good Christmas.
And yet, week after week, he can get back into the Miami Dolphins.
Man,
that's got to be way harder.
That's got to be much more difficult than.
More on that later, Devin.
Into a
nice
show
work this weekend.
Yeah, plenty to talk about. But let's go ahead. That's the bad. Let's talk about the good as we do each and every week. Say, wouldn't be the last show of the year without a minor board malfunction.
Yep, just complete derailment.
As we do each and every week on the show, we look back at the best and the worst from the week or actually just the best, not the worst anymore. That my brain went into former default mode. We look at the best things that happened in sports and football the past 7 days. Sean, what's the best from the past week?
I'd like to give an honorable mention to Devin's Miami Dolphins since I was just talking about it. They went out and did exactly what I thought they would, what I said they should. Attack the middle of the field. A lot of backup quarterback to backup tight end connections, which I appreciated.
They are who we thought they were.
Which I appreciated. Got several. Had to start Dulcich in the league, believe it or not, and quite the day out of him. But yeah, and good on yours. Looks like a little bit of everything that Tua isn't. So maybe it's time to move on from Tua to Threa and move right into the future. But I had to give them an honorable mention. But my best of the week, I find it real hard, and I don't know if you had. I had a backup plan, but I'm going to go with choice A.
I always have two, so go ahead.
Right.
You can always roll your first one.
It's got to be the Atlanta Falcons and Bijan Robinson for me. For several. I mean, of course, the coach not giving Bijan the ball at 195 yards with a shot at a first down to fully close out the game. He's a fumble risk. I don't care. He hasn't fumbled today.
You're eliminated from the playoffs a month ago. What are you worried about fumbling for?
What's the worst that happens? He fumbles, they run it back, you
blew
lose the game.
lead to begin with.
Yeah,
it's not like losing actually benefits you. You should want to give him their chance.
He breaks off a big run, gives them a first down, chance to make them waste their timeouts. And if you get a first down, you can take the clock down to 0. Right?
What'd you
Kick
do?
the field goal. And instead, Algier, 3 in a row, 1.5 yards a clip. Like, just, God, man.
Awful.
Jason, I see you. More on your team later. Anyway, the best week, but the Atlanta Falcons coming out, and we saw a display, at least in the first half, of the defense that looked like might be there in the first few games of the season, where the Falcons defense was playing at a very high level, despite the fact that Michael Penix was useless. And then later, Kirk Cousins also being useless. But the pieces they have in place, some of the pass rushers, defensive backs, Bijan Robinson, that's probably it. Drake London, it's hard to show off when you're in an offense that's trying to preserve a lead and just not screw it up. But hoping for more out of him next year because that kid's exciting when he's playing well. But I think you had a chance to vision in the future. And Falcons, you're also the best of the week for setting up the most NFC South scenario I've ever seen in my entire life, where the Buccaneers could beat the Panthers to set up a sub 500 guaranteed division champion, but only to fall short if Atlanta wins their game because it would be a 3-way tie, which would create a head-to-head tiebreaker, which would still let the Panthers be ahead.
That is a disgusting act.
Meanwhile, the team in the South playing the best football is sitting so far behind. They don't even get in the. I think if you're sub 500, the league should get to vote in some. Just Saints, it is. Saints get in there.
Saints, Kellen Moore and Tyler.
Oh man, Show. Are you ready for the show?
Show me something. He's showing something.
Hope everybody else is ready for the show, or at least the rest of it, because I'm finally done with this tiny segment. Go ahead.
What the hell's going on with all of these like quarterbacks just being thrown in, rookie guys? Ewers looks better than Tua, though that's not very hard as long as he's staying vertical. Devin has his best of the week, the Pop-Tart Bowl. Yeah, look, and here's the thing. I want to address some because like a lot of people on like social media are like, oh well, Notre Dame fans like they hate the Pop-Tart Bowl and it's no fun. And I don't think there's any Notre Dame. Well, there's a few. I have seen a few dumbasses on Twitter like that have like besmirched like the fun that is the Pop-Tart Bowl. They're like, oh, Marcus, yeah, besmirched.
Okay.
Marcus Freeman and Notre Dame, like they're better than. No, we're not. Look, 2 or 3 years ago, Marcus Freeman had a bucket of Frosted Flakes dumped on him when Notre Dame won the Tony the Tiger Sun Bowl. Okay, like the Pop-Tart Bowl would be a blast any year but this year. This had nothing to do with the bowl, who we were playing, who we just added.
How the sprinkles look on a gold helmet. I'd be curious how they pull that off.
I would wonder how they would do that. Like I wonder
maybe
if
they could design a sprinkle jersey instead.
I think what they maybe could have done is you bring in the shamrocks like you do every now and again.
Oh yeah, throw a shamrock with some
sprinkles on the shamrocks.
That'd be fun.
Yeah,
or shamrock sprinkles.
Ooh, that would be fun.
Well, now I want sprinkles.
I do love sprinkles, but like, yeah, like any other year, any of that, like the game Notre Dame's fine with. Like this was first off, you were going to have a ton of guys who were opting out. And secondly, I think it really was a kind of a message to the committee and to ESPN and all of that for kind of the circus that we've talked about ad nauseum for a while. So like the Pop-Tart Bowl, super fun. Again, I didn't watch. I have watched no.
Didn't look like a sellout. I'll tell you that.
It did not look like a sellout. ESPN did, and the Sun Bowl did lose a lot of money. You're welcome for that. You get what you deserve, ESPN. But like, I didn't watch it. Normally I would have. It's a super fun event. I'm glad for those who are there. I'm glad for our old pal, student of the game, Kyle Nash, for covering it on his world. I think he'll probably be at the Cheez-It Bowl tomorrow, maybe the Cheez-It Citrus Bowl, also down there in Orlando. So yeah, look, Pop-Tart Bowl, it's everything that's fun about college football and the college football postseason, which can be kind of a useless slog at times, especially when you're not talking about the college football invitational. But I just wanted to put that out there to belabor the segment a little bit longer. But yeah, Devin says totally agree with Notre Dame did. Yeah, see, Devin gets it. Devin's a smart guy. Devin's a smart guy. We appreciate you, Devin, always.
This guy gets it.
Quick honorable mention for me: Vikings 4-0 in December. Probably saving Kevin O'Connell's job. Not that he necessarily would have been fired, but I think finishing this strong. Justin Jefferson seems a little bit happier, though he could have done better from my fantasy final this past weekend. But 500 on the year going into the final week of the season, potential to go above 500 with a win over a hapless Green Bay team without a normal starting quarterback. But yeah, heck of a November or December for them. But my honorable mention or my best of the week, Sean, not what you had, but in a similar light, 36 carries, 216 yards, 4 touchdowns. Derrick Henry in a must-win game. EJ, this is actually what a definition of a must-win game was. Must-win game for the Ravens. They did what they had to do. A huge win up in Lambeau. And for the first time all year, unfortunately for me and my fantasy finals as well, the Ravens remembered they have Derrick Henry on their roster. And going into another must-win this weekend, which we'll talk about in a bit. Derrick Henry and company should see more of that on the ground game.
My best of the week was the opposite. Help mine.
There you go.
By whipping up on Matt Stafford and by taking out Blake Corum, I was able to pull off the measly finals that I was in. So
going into last night, I had because of Brock Purdy and Juwan Jennings, more reason for me to hate the Niners. I didn't know I needed that. But because of those guys on Sunday night, I needed like 48 points out of Stafford and Puka last night. And I was like, hey, they're going against the Falcons. Rams are clicking. shouldn't be a problem. Didn't even turn the game on. I'm like, I'm just not going to watch. I got the Capitals on the TV. Also disappointing. Yeah, there's a theme for 2025. Glad to see this thing going. But the missus is like, hey, I got some people in my finals. Can we turn the game on? And when I turned it on, I saw that it was early in the second and the Rams had 0 points. And I went, well, I'm dead. So at least I knew. At least I knew right away.
They turn it on. That's the worst when you pull up the score and you're like,
oh,
well,
crap.
What is it? The start? Did they delay the start of the game? And you're like,
nope, the game hasn't
quarter.
started yet. Nope.
Nope. Third quarter. This isn't working.
Well, we're done. We're done. So that was also the worst of my week. But yeah, no, let's celebrate.
We'll just agree that the real best of the week was anybody that had something to do that kept them away from the Browns-Steelers game. That was
good God.
Anybody who had anything else to do during that time frame.
To be fair, let's be honest.
Lord.
With the exception of like one or two games, anybody who had anything that kept them away from football, you actually had the best week. Just an ugly one. The Christmas games, Netflix lost out on those.
Yikes.
Saturday games weren't great. Blowouts or crappy game. Like it just.
Well, it doesn't get much better because hey, we're playing for the division. When do we get to play? Carolina, Tampa. Yeah, congratulations. Have Saturday at 4:30.
Oh yeah, it's Saturday at 4. Yeah.
Have Saturday at 4. Like, isn't that college football day?
Okay. Well, to be fair, college is playing on Wednesday and Thursday this week, so right. The actual college games, they'll be all right. They'll be all right.
All right.
But speaking of college football, Sean, before we get into the playoff games and stuff like that, Michigan turns a negative into a positive in what has been one of the wildest twists in the coaching cycle. So we haven't really touched on the Sharon Moore situation because, quite frankly, it's an ugly situation. It's there's a lot of there's just a lot around it. So I just kind of stayed away from it a bit. But of course, Sharon Moore fired, discovered to have a affair with a staff member, reportedly his assistant, to the head coach. So he is gone. Was also arrested and court things pending in the new year. But finishes his career 16-8 as the Michigan head coach, 2 full seasons and 1 bowl game or 1 game as an interim coach in the 2023 season. Won the ReliaQuest Bowl last year to close out the season. And Michigan seemed to kind of be in this tailspin, and then all of a sudden over the weekend there was a lot of reports that Kyle Whittingham, former head coach of the Utah Utes.
Did you say Utes?
Did you say Utes?
Utes.
Who had resigned from the program, but had announced that he wasn't retiring, that he was just resigning from the position, was potentially in play, announced as the new head coach in Michigan. He goes 177-88 at Utah over about 22 seasons. Had been in the Sugar Bowl while they were still in the Mountain West Conference, had gone to the Rose Bowl, multiple appearances in the Rose Bowl as the Utes head coach. Just in 2021, 2022, made it to the Rose Bowl. So really what went from, and as reports are coming out, there was coaches not even speaking to each other. There was kind of volatile behavior between coaches, and just really a chaotic scene, really kind of a miracle that Michigan went 9-3 on the season this year. And now you have what may end up being, and what a lot of analysts are saying is the best hire in this cycle. Really an impressive turn of events for the University of Michigan's program.
Yeah, it works out for them. Just kind of one of those situations where kind of waiting it out worked out. You know what I mean? I'm sure they had a long list of candidates that they might have been interested in, and I'm sure he jumped pretty quick to the top once his name was in the ring. So good for them. Good for, and to be honest, good for him. Sounds like he's getting out of a situation he didn't want to be a part of, and winds up in a much higher profile, probably higher money situation, and kind of win-win for everybody.
Yeah, it's a 5-year deal. So he's 66, so he'll be 71, which some people kind of scoffed at. But I'm like, Nick Saban literally retired at 72 a couple of years ago. Left Alabama. Kurt Signetti just signed a 9-year or 10-year extension with Indiana. He is 63 years old. So, and really, if you look at Kyle Whittingham, dude was doing riding motorcycles and doing arm wrestling with Pat McAfee just a couple of years ago as head coach of Utah. Guy looks to be in much better shape than I'm ever going to be. So, I don't think age is going to be a factor. And really, I think the big thing for Michigan is this. You're a couple days or at that time of hiring about a week away from the transfer portal opening up. A lot of questions of what's going to happen with this program. And you need to bring somebody in to stabilize it. And when you have a coach that won 66% of his games at Utah over a 22-year period, only, let's see here, just a couple of below 500 seasons, just in 2012, 2013, went 5-7 those years. Those were his 2 sub 500 seasons in a 22-year career at Utah, and brings that pedigree, reportedly getting BYU defensive coordinator Jay Hill as his defensive coordinator. So you come in with a 5-year deal, you stabilize the program that was kind of tail spinning, and what we've seen with NIL and the transfer portal, you can rebuild very quickly anymore. And with the resources that Michigan has, I think this is a tremendous hire. And really, when you kind of look at the scope of it, the Big Ten, I think probably got the 2 best candidates that were out there, at least 2 as like a program changer. Some could argue Lane Kiffin going to LSU is bigger, but you have a guy who's been in the SEC for how long and hasn't won anything. And the heat's going to get hotter in LSU, but for Penn State, they get Matt Campbell, and for Michigan, get Kyle Whittingham. The Big Ten making some big swings this year for sure, and the power struggle of college football, at least as it pertains to what is the best conference, I think is a needle that's moving north from the SEC. I think, and we may start to see that shift even further, and see how that plays out. But speaking of how it plays out, Sean, we have some college football playoff, college football invitational, as I like to be calling it. Let's go to the games. They begin tomorrow night. We start at the Cotton Bowl down there in Dallas, 7:30 p.m. Eastern time. All of these games are on ESPN, of course, the network that gifts us with the world of college football. Thank you, ESPN, for all that you do. We have number 10, Miami. As much as we hate it, they're here. They are 11-2 on the season. They take on number 2, Ohio State, who is 12-1. They are a 9.5-point favorite. Your over/under in this game, 40.5.
Oh man, Miami made their point. Came out, they won a game. Do I think it's as impressive as a win as everybody else? No, but you did it. You made it.
Oh, good for you.
Did I potentially overinflate the performance ahead of time that I would see out of Texas A&M? Yeah. I don't know what that was. It wasn't football. Some of that's the Miami defense.
Great, Bob.
I also hate picking Ohio State for anything, but I still pretty much feel, despite the fact that they lost the Big Ten title game, that this is the best team in the country as we sit here today. And I think that they prove it. I think that it's a chance for them, especially with a well-rested, but also more time to prepare, more time to watch film. You should be ready to fly. And I think fly they will. I think Ohio State covers this 9.5 points. Are there scenarios where I could see Miami winning? Yes. The pass rush for Indiana gave Ohio State fits, caused the game plan to go awry, and really set up a lower flying situation. And to be honest, Miami probably has a better pass rush than Indiana. I think when they're playing at their best, there's some NFL caliber players on that defensive front, and that's Miami's ticket. Is you have to win the line of scrimmage, or you're going to get, if you give those speedsters a chance to get down the field and get open, you're in trouble. And I think that inevitably will happen, if not right at the beginning of the game as the game goes on. So give me Ohio State and give me the over, but just a smidge.
Yeah, I don't think this is going to be a high-scoring game.
I think it's enough.
But look at the Texas A&M Miami game to tell you this isn't going to be a high-scoring game. If it is a high-scoring game, Miami's in deep trouble because it ain't going to be Miami that's doing the high scoring. Let's be fair. And yeah, look, Indiana certainly kind of gave Ohio State fits, but sadly, if we learned something a year ago, this Ohio State team and the current coaching staff there responds well to a loss. And they did it last year post Michigan. Unfortunately for us as Notre Dame fans, they carried that all the way to a national championship. So I think you're going to see something similar here. Now, they don't get the benefit of having a home playoff game, but Ohio State is the better team. They're the better team, period. Not discrediting Miami. I don't like them. Great, you proved your point. You beat Texas A&M. Great, good for you. But Ohio State's better, and they're just going to prove that they're better. Even if Miami hangs with them a little bit early on, it's not going to last. Buckeyes to cover. And I'm actually staying under because while Ohio State's going to score, I don't think Miami really does a lot of scoring at all. That offense is not good. Carson Beck is going to do Carson Beck things, and I will take the under. Devin has Ohio State and the under as well. Moving to Thursday, New Year's Day at noon. It is the Orange Bowl, number 5, Oregon. They are 12-1 on the year. They are a 2.5-point favorite against number 4, Texas Tech, who is 12-1. Your over-under in this one is 51.5.
Yeah, I think Texas Tech's going to come out firing in this one. I think that offense should be clicking on all cylinders. They're raring to go. Obviously, sitting out the first round, so they're pretty excited. Oregon, however, got to barely break a sweat and just have a good time and remember what football feels like when it's going well, and it's going well. I think the timing is there. I think the run game is there. I think the offense looks balanced. I think the defense looks good. Now, I'm basing that off more than just a win against James Madison, mind you. I'm not just being like, wow, they really look good against that handful of high school kids. No, I'm also doing this because I'm setting up my Final Four that I want and the nation deserves and the SEC deserves and college football deserves. Give me Oregon to cover. 2.5 feels like that's almost a pick 'em. I'll take the cover there because I think Oregon's going to win this game. And at 51.5, I think this one's going to be a little more fun. If you like offense and you like fireworks, this is going to be a way more fun game than that Miami-Ohio State game. This is going to be back and forth for a while. Oregon eventually pulls away. Give me what I think will be a fairly easy over. I think this is a pretty safe bet if you're betting one of the 4 games this week.
Yeah, look, if you like offense, this one may be your best shot. I think this one's probably going to be the most electric. I think the over is the easy play. And look, Texas Tech, they've had a good defense all year long, but I also kind of wonder if that's just the quality or lack thereof in the Big 12. So I don't see them being as dominant on the defensive side of the ball as they've been all year. I think Oregon has a great offense. I think the only chance to really win here, I think for Texas Tech, is the hope that Oregon doesn't play a full 60 minutes. They didn't have to against James Madison, but when they're on, this team is as good as anybody in college football, and I think The level of competition in the Big Ten is just better. And I think Oregon's the better team. I think they cover that 2.5 and the over as well. Devin has a quack, motherfucker, and the over. So moving to 4 o'clock Eastern time on Thursday, it is the Rose Bowl. It's still in shock that they are here.
Alabama.
Number 9, Alabama, 11-3 on the season. They take on number 1, Indiana, 13-0, a 7-point favorite. You're over under 48.5.
I don't even have an analysis or a breakdown for this game. One of these things is not like the other, right? One of these things belongs here and the other one does not. I will instead give a message to Indiana. Crush them. Simply crush them. Take any air out of any sails. Stop letting them pretend that they belong here. Stop letting everyone believe that, like, oh, see, we got it. They are not as good as Indiana. They are not as deep as Indiana. And Indiana should win this game by more than 7 points. And they will. Give me Indiana to cover. Give me the 48.5 feels high. Give me the under on that. But I think it's a very one-sided under.
Yeah, look, Alabama is doing this media circle about it's us versus the world, and nobody believes in us, and everybody's against us. Motherfuckers. You are a 3-loss team who had the worst final half of the season of any team in the top 15. And you also lost to a horrible Florida State team. And you still got in. Not only did you get in, you didn't move after getting your faces kicked in a conference championship game. Everybody, at least in the media, is behind you. Shut up.
Right.
Indiana, please. Look, I know going into last year's opening round game, I was like, let's end this Cinderella story. Look, that was last year. Now, I'm looking at you. Indiana, please do the country a favor and bury these clowns for good. I'm done hearing about the Crimson Tide. I'm done hearing about, well, we earned bullshit. Indiana, cover, over, bury these clowns.
Crimson
Devin,
Tide, more like Crimson Tried, am I right?
Seriously. Sorry, Devin. Alabama, slight under. Get out of here.
Yikes.
Get out of my business.
Go home, Devin.
Last one, Thursday, 8 o'clock Eastern time, the Sugar Bowl. It is number 6 Ole Miss. They're 12-1 in the season. They take on number 3 Georgia, who is 12-1, a 6.5-point favorite. You're over under the highest of the bunch, 55.5.
Yeah, I've already picked my Big Ten. So we got those three, and this one I can't freaking avoid it. So we're gonna have to actually pick this one. I would like nothing more at this point with Lane Kiffin out and leaving things alone to watch Ole Miss come in here and dismantle Georgia and just go to the Final Four without Lane Kiffin. This would be like the feel good Cinderella. Like if Ole Miss. If an SEC team wants to win the national championship, let it be Ole Miss.
This is the one.
This would be the one. The one team that just fought their asses off all year, lost their coach, and then he's kind of left out to dry like some redheaded stepchild of the SEC. Like just, oh no, Jordan, we got to get them all in there because our top guys can't. No, I would absolutely love it. Do I think it's going to happen? Absolutely not. I think Georgia, much like your Ohio State pick, I think Georgia is the better team. I think Georgia is the deeper team. I think Georgia's just bred for this type of environment, and Ole Miss is kind of in, strange territory for them, especially with a coach that's in strange territory already. So, give me the seasoned vets. Give me the Georgia Bulldogs. I think 6.5 personally feels small, which maybe is a good thing for Ole Miss fans. Maybe that's a sign of things to come. I also don't think this gets anywhere near 55.5. This is another under for me. I don't. They're expecting some kind of shootout. I don't think either of these teams has a slouch enough defense to let that happen. I think this one stays under.
No, I mean, look at last year when Notre Dame and Georgia in the same game. Was more of a low scoring, hard hitting, punch him in the body, punch him in the face, back and forth matchup. I think it's the same. I think the under's the safer play
and
here.
It's a lot like the Ohio State, where if it goes over, it's not good for Ole Miss.
No, Ole Miss wants to keep it close. They can score. Don't get me wrong. This team can score. But again, can they do it against Georgia? I don't know. I actually think the same game is going to be tighter than the numbers prove. I think Kirby Smart does sometimes have a bit of a big game problem. We kind of saw it in the SEC title game where they got up big, looked like it was kind of out of control. Alabama started to creep back, then Georgia was able to take it away. But Ole Miss is a much better team than Alabama, who doesn't belong here. Sorry, wrong game. So I think they keep it inside that 6.5. I think we are looking 4 or 5 points somewhere in that realm. I do ultimately think Georgia wins the game, but I like the under here in this one. And you can see the bracket if you're on the video side. Yeah, obviously the teams on the far left in gray, they are no longer with us for the year. Devin trying to put the old hex on Alabama with the pick. I like that. They're good call, Devin. But yes, that's where we're going to leave the round 2, the quarterfinal round of the college football invitational. So that is we will see that New Year's Eve, New Year's Day on the network that graces us with the college football playoff. So moving on here, Sean. NFL playoff picture. I think as we take a look at it on the screen, for the most part, the right side, I think, is pretty similar to where we were at last week. Seahawks, the 1 seed, Bears 2, Eagles 3, and currently the Panthers are 4. Panthers, the only team in the NFC who have not clinched. The rest of the teams have punched their ticket. Some seeding still to go.
Plenty.
The 49ers, currently the 5 seed, Rams, the 6 seed, Packers, the 7 seed. So since the matchups are basically what we saw a week ago, is there a team from last week to this week that you're more confident in on this side of the bracket and or less confident in on this side of the bracket?
Are we on the NFC or the AFC? NFC?
NFC.
I think a lot of folks are going to be less confident in the Rams after the last 2 weeks. Kind of a bit of a stumbling block here. Let's not forget that Devontae Adams isn't playing. Let's not forget that that these last 2 games, for the most part, don't really matter. And when you find yourself in a heap of trouble, you're not working quite as hard to get yourself out. And they still almost got out of the Falcons one. So, I wouldn't panic on them. I think the biggest shift for me was one that I hinted at last week, where I said, show me something, right? Like show me something that you belong here. And there'll be a little more on this in the next segment, obviously. But the San Francisco 49ers are offensively, anyway, playing at a very high level and being able to do that against a defense the caliber of the Bears. Now, I know the Bears aren't. They might barely be in the top 3 in the NFC. No, they're probably not. They're probably sitting somewhere in the 4 or 5 range, but that's okay. So they're still a playoff team that's relying on their defense, and to go out and get into a shootout with them and win, I think for the NFC teams, that was the one that stood out to me as like, okay, you made your point. Now I'm in. So congrats to the 49ers on their win, but that would be my vote.
Yeah, I think I'm probably with you. I think showing what they showed this week, because I was very vocal, and I still will be, that I don't fully believe in the 49ers as a Super Bowl contender, but they certainly looked more the part this week, at least on the offensive side of the ball. Let's not forget they gave up 38 points.
It's a lot of points. It is.
So the problem for them is the issues on the defensive side of the ball are not getting fixed anytime soon for them. They're not getting fixed this year. So that may end up being their undoing. But certainly from last week to this week, I'd be lying if I said they didn't make the biggest jump in confidence in where they are. And the fact that they could go from the 5 seed to the 1 seed, that you have to kind of, and like they hammered home about a bajillion times on the broadcast on Sunday night, they may never have to leave their home stadium if they can catch that home field. So certainly they're the ones I have the most confidence in. The Bears are the ones that have slipped a little bit. I'd not necessarily say the least confident. The least confident would be the Panthers or whoever wins the South. But I have less confidence in the Bears than I did, because this was a big opportunity, and you've been doing tremendous things on offense. Again, you put up 38 points, but you gave up 40 plus. So that's got to be a little concerning, especially when it's one of the better opponents you've played in a while. So that would be a little bit concerning there.
I do really hope that the matchup is Bears-Packers right away. Let's find out if the Bears are for real, and if there are, we don't have to deal with Green Bay anymore. So bye. Let's just move on from that. But that'd be a fun one.
Yeah, I mean, unfortunately, like the first round matchups as they look right now, the only one that's really bad would be the South winner versus the Niner. That feels like an absolute trouncing.
Also, don't get me wrong. If the Packers stay at 7 and the Eagles want to jump the Bears and play them, I would also be fine with that as well. I would be perfectly fine.
Yeah, I'd be confident
hosting the Green Bay.
Yeah,
I'd be fine with that.
All right, let's look over the AFC side. Denver is still leading the pack. I think they, with a win on Sunday, they would lock in that number one seed. I think that's still in play. Patriots at the 2 seed, Jaguars 3 seed, and currently the Steelers are your 4 seed. Your wild card teams are Texans, Chargers, and Bills. Now there was a little movement here. Chargers slipping to the 3-6 matchup. Texans leaping up into that 4 or 5, and man, for the Chargers and everybody, because the Bills dropped to 7, Chargers moved to 6, Texans moved to 5. The Texans moving from the potential matchup against the Patriots to a matchup against that North winner. Tremendous move for them. Chargers slipping from a matchup against currently the Steelers, possibly the Ravens, and slipping to a matchup with the Jaguars. Looks like the last thing they would need right now. All of the teams except for the North winner have punched their ticket. Again, seeding still at play, but the winner of the North, which we'll preview in a little bit, will clinch that 4 seed. But yeah, Sean, kind of same thing. Confidence level, up or down, which team moved the most for you this week?
Well, I mean, I've had nothing but confidence in the Houston Texans, so it's not a huge surprise there. I think the one scary thing winding up against that North would be if Lamar Jackson were to come back this week and just look any semblance of his former self, and they come out and just steamroll Pittsburgh, right? Like if you saw that after the impressive show they put on last week, sans Lamar, if you get him back and do it again, that could be a pretty hot train rolling into Houston, waiting for Houston to show up. I feel like that'd be a heck of a game, first of all. But obviously, if I'm Houston, I'm a big Steelers fan this weekend. It's sure. Like if I'm going to win my games, it's just keep Pittsburgh right there. Jacksonville strengthened my confidence in them. The Chargers are back to willy-nilly. I just every time I build up some sort of like, wow, the Chargers are here. They do something, and it just I just lose confidence in them.
What you do?
Yeah, I don't. I don't think they didn't look good, and you're not really going to get to see if it's better because they have announced they're sitting Justin Herbert.
Yeah, and possibly even some others, which honestly
it sets up a really I don't want to say a walk-in for Denver to the 1 seed by any means, but presumably that will make that road a lot easier.
Denver Broncos.
I mean, not a lot of confidence in Trey Lance against the number one team in the AFC.
Don't get me wrong. I think the fact that it is Trey Lance and it's a guy that has been trying to prove himself and now is like going to get the chance to start. It's a rough spot start. I'm not going to lie to you.
Right.
But it'd be a fun story if Trey Lance did it.
Sure did. Sure. What I mean, look what Willis is doing there in in Green Bay, earning himself a paycheck next year. For the Chargers, like that's the one that they're I feel like they're on the shakiest ground, maybe the Bills.
The Bills, I mean, the Bills ran into a real great defense and real bad weather.
Yeah.
And I mean, I think that weather played a lot into that game. More like people were trying to like hang things on the Eagles. They're trying to hang things on Josh Allen. And I'm like, you play in that. There's a monsoon.
The good news is that playing
weather.
in New England in January will be much better weather for Buffalo.
Correct.
But no, like the Bills are going to live and die by Josh Allen. We know that. I think that the worrisome part for the Chargers is just it's the mounting injuries. Like I think at full strength we saw earlier this year, they're as good as anybody in football. But the injuries are mounting. I do think the smart play is to sit anybody who has any question mark about any injury under the stars.
Right.
Literally,
I woke up and my toenail was cracked. Like, sit down.
You're out. Yeah, right? Just nothing that could get hurt worse. If somebody like you breathe and you feel that little crackle in your chest on Sunday when you're playing, get them out. Because don't risk anything because you've already punched your ticket. So whether it's against the Jaguars, whether it's against the Ravens, whether it falls back and you do end up playing the Patriots, I don't even know if that's a possibility, but you're in the dance. Don't make your situation worse than it already is.
Well, and the other thing is some of these teams with things to play for is if you find yourself in a hole, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like don't hurt yourself trying to claw out of it. And I almost was kind of baffled by what the Rams did last night. I mean, I get you came back, you made it within a score, that was great. But now there's a lot of talk that McVay doesn't want to play starters, kind of like the Chargers.
Right.
And like, well, I don't want guys to get hurt. And I'm like, then when you drop down by 3 touchdowns,
why'd you keep playing?
Why is Stafford still in there?
Right, you have a guy whose arm has literally fallen out of
get
socket.
Like a win is a win and like seeding, but he told us now he doesn't care about seeding. And I think sometimes, I mean, obviously Harbaugh doesn't seem to at this point. So yeah, I just some of these teams, like that would be my advice is like if you come out dead and by halftime you're like, man, this is going to take a miracle, then don't try for the miracle, right? Like especially now if you're the Panthers or the Steelers, you got to try, right? Like as you lose, you go home, right?
So there's no tomorrow.
There's no tomorrow for them. But for these other teams that are locked in, be like, well, guess the 2's not happening. Maybe it's 3, maybe it's 5.
Right.
Just survive then and try to fix it for the following week.
Yeah, like I get the 4 or 5 matchup looks a lot nicer, but in the same time, like if you're Jim Harbaugh, like as good as the Jaguars have been, and I think they're as dangerous as any team in football, at least in the AFC right now. But like you have a guy who's never coached in the postseason. Jim Harbaugh has been to the Super Bowl. Like, you know what I mean? Like Jim Harbaugh has spent more time in major football probably than Liam Cohen's been alive. So like, it really, it's, and I don't know how old Liam Cohen is, so don't tweet me. I don't care. But Harbaugh's been around a lot longer, and he's been there. He's been in national title games. He's been in playoffs. He's been through the NFL playoffs. So like, you have a little bit of advantage there from a mental aspect. So yeah, I absolutely agree. Do not risk things for the sake of a single game or a single moment trying to come back, because that's going to end up costing you potentially more than anything else. But all right, Sean, we close up the playoff picture, and when we're back here next week, we'll be literally talking about the real playoff lineup and roundup.
Very exciting.
And all of that as we get ready for the final week of the NFL season. this upcoming weekend, not just Sunday. We have 2 Saturday games because that's what everybody wants. Is 2 Saturday games, and we start 4:30 Eastern time, ABC and ESPN. The battle for the NFC South. Who wants it less? The Panthers, they are 8-8. They travel to Tampa Bay. Just a crumbling mass. The foundation built on paper plates in a wet climate. It's been brutal. 7-9 now. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers, potentially a division winner with a losing record. 2.5-point home favorite though for Tampa. Over under 44.
Man, what a sad state of affairs. This is so nonsense. Because I kind of want to pitch it as like, what do I want to happen? What do I think will happen?
Thing sucks.
Because here's the thing, like what for the humor side of me and the make fun of the South side of me and everything else, I would love to see the Buccaneers win and watch them tie a sub 500 Panther team only to not make the playoffs anyway. That would be a dream. But at the same time, I also despise teams under 500 playing for a championship. And so for that reason, because there's no reason, like from any football god's perspective, that I should pick the Panthers in this game. The Buccaneers have given you every opportunity to shut this damn door. And they have not taken it. They lost to you. They lost to the Falcons. They lost to what looked like a terrible loss to the Saints. All you had to do was beat the Saints and shut them up. And then last week they go and lose another laugher. And like, I get you played the Seahawks.
No blowing.
You should have already locked this up. It shouldn't even be coming down to this. So, I mean, my gut says Tampa's going to win this game, and the Panthers will somehow be relying on Atlanta, which is a terrible place to be if you're relying on that.
Yikes.
However, I also think the same reasons I thought that the Miami Dolphins were the lock of the week last week, and we got them, Devin. We got them. But I'm going to take the Panthers for the same reasons. I think they throw well over the middle of the field. I think when they can actually remember they have 2 good running backs, can run well up the middle. And I think some of their strengths are what the Buccaneers can't stop. And as soon as the Buccaneers panic, then you have guys like Ted McMillan that can go over the top and get it. Give me the Panthers to continue the embarrassing run for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Get me a winning record into the postseason. For the love of Christ. And 44, I mean, your guess is as good as mine, Jim. Push. Exactly 44.
Exactly 44.
Game.
23-21 final.
You heard it here. Throw a couple dollars on that. See if Vegas will let you.
There you go. Give it a shot. Yeah, man, looking over these 2 teams and the 2 schedules,
I would lean under, by the
way. Tampa had their bye week in week 9. The only team they've beaten since then is the Arizona Cardinals.
They're good.
The Cardinals, whose only win in their last 10 games was against the Dallas Cowboys.
Oh, you meant the Arizona Wildcats. They're pretty good.
Yeah, better than the Cardinals. So they've lost 7 of their last 8. Like,
have they been wearing creamsicles the whole time? I feel like the channel.
There was a point this year. Wins over Houston, Seattle, San Francisco. We were talking MVP for Baker Mayfield.
Well, people were, yes.
Some people were. And there was a valid argument for it. He looked great. And then the bye week happened. I actually heard the Buccaneers have submitted an application for no bye week next week.
We'll take it week 18.
Just give us, just give us
week 1 bye week.
Let us play the winner of the UFL in our bye week. Carolina, not a ton of tremendous wins, but since week 9, they've beaten Green Bay, they've beaten the Rams, they've beaten these Bucs. Neither team is good, but when I just look at the trends, I feel like you look at the Buccaneers and you look at a team that is ready to move on from their head coach. Like, it just looks like the other week. I remember seeing this clip of they're down. I think it might have been in the Panthers game, and the only person that looked like he cared was Mike Evans, and just the
Mike Evans
sideline,
excited to be on the field.
like the sideline looked dead. The coaching staff looked uninspired. Like this team is just failing on life support. And for that reason, I go Panthers. I think they are right now just the better team, and I think the Bucks they know who they are at this point, and they've accepted their fate. So yeah, give me Panthers and the under. I'll try and make the rest of these a little bit quicker, but I feel like we had to vent about how bad this situation.
It's just awful. Just one follow-up question quickly.
Yeah.
Like, obviously, we've talked about which team we think is going to win the game. Looking at that bracket we just had up there, which of these teams do you think is more formidable as a playoff adversary?
I mean, Tampa has the better roster.
That's true.
Like they are the better team on paper, but Carolina they look more.
Carolina has the better resume. Like
they have the better resume. Right. They look to just be more inspired on both sides of the ball. So like right now, if you're going to have a team that's going to play spoiler, I give it to the Panthers.
Probably the Panthers. All right, I'm right with you. Cool.
All right, Devin has the Panthers and the under. Then we move Saturday night, 8 p.m. on ABC and ESPN, 8 p.m. Eastern. It is the battle for not only the NFC West, but the number 1 seed in the NFC playoffs. It is the 11-4 Seattle Seahawks. They are a 1.5-point road favorite at the 12-4. I guess the Seahawks would be 12-4. Sorry, it was on me. I entered it wrong on my sheet. 12-4 versus 12-4. 49ers are 12-4 at home. The over-under on this one is 49.5.
No, I was just praising the 49ers as far as an offensive performance. Now, this should be a slightly tighter defense even than the Bears, theoretically. And let's not forget that it's kind of funny that this is a bookend matchup, that this was a week 1 matchup, I believe, was 49ers Seahawks. I just like the Seahawks as a whole unit. This is one of those ones where when you look at quarterbacks and everything else, it may not be quite as even as or as far apart as I think they're two very even teams when you look at them on paper. However, the Seahawks are not nearly as banged up. I know Sam Darnold has had his struggles of late, but I think he wants a little bit of a revenge game here. Give me Sam Darnold and Smith and Jigba to carry that 1.5 point spread. Let's cover that. And 49.5, I would not be surprised if this went over, despite the fact that these are two defensive units. This could be a pretty fun one to watch. So give me the Seahawks. I think it still stays fairly close. I'm not saying blowout, but 1.5 is a pick 'em. So give me the Seahawks to hold the 1 seed and push this over.
Yeah, I mean, Seattle, great defense. Niners, a really good defense, especially when they're not banged up. But I think the injuries are going to be the difference here. And I do think the over's in play because
you didn't see it this weekend. Trent Williams is now officially on that list with a hamstring. So
wow, okay. But the Seattle's offense and because he did poorly for me in a fantasy final this week, and Jig was about to have like a 4 touchdown day. So congratulations, Seattle fan. But I think the over's in play because Seattle's offense is really, really good going against a banged-up defense. Just gave up almost 40 points. The Niners are going to have to try to keep up. So I think the over's the play here. I like Seattle to win. Here's the deal. Last year, Sam Darnold had 2 opportunities in clutch play at the end of the year. One to beat the Lions to get the 1 seed. He and the Vikings looked terrible. The next week they went to SoFi and looked terrible again. This is another shot at redemption for Sam Darnold. And when he's had these opportunities this year, he's done really well in them. So give me the Seahawks to win this game, clinch up the 1 seed, and the West Division. I will take the over. Devin has the Seahawks and the over as well.
And Darnold's the target. If you're the 49ers trying to win this one seed is
Yeah.
you've got to rattle him, and you got to not let him get the ball to anybody he wants to. That's how you beat him.
For sure. Real quickly, this one Sunday, 1 o'clock Eastern time on Fox, just because I had to pick a fourth game, and this one does have playoff implications, a win, and it clinches the South in the AFC. I have the 3-13 Titans. Those Titans.
We ass.
They travel to the 12-4 Jacksonville Jaguars, a 12-point home favorite. You're over under 47.5.
Yo, I started the year talking about how much I loved Cam Ward, right? Hit him one more time.
We ass.
Yeah, they have been. But you know what? Lately, they have not been. And I like where the Titans are sitting going into next year. I think it's going to be a very strong offseason for them. I think the Jaguars are going to win this game pretty easily and lock this thing up. However, 12 points is a lot of points. I think Cam and the boys gonna hang one on them and cover this spread. So give me the Titans to cover, and at 47.5, I will take the over because of that. Tighten up.
Yeah, I think there's going to be a lot of points here. And I'm with you. Like, look, there's going to come a point in this game, third quarter, early fourth quarter, Jacksonville's going to be way ahead. And they're going to go, you know what? We got this. Division's locked up. They're gonna pull guys off the field and protect them for next week. That's going to give a backdoor cover chance for the Titans. So I'm definitely taking the Titans to cover the 12. Jacksonville does win the game easily, and I will take the over as well. Devin has Jacksonville the under. He thinks Tennessee's just going to get out of this one.
This game reminded me. Quick backdoor best of the week would be Shamir Dyke for the Tennessee Titans. Last week set the NFL record for rookie all-purpose yards.
There you go.
In the history of the NFL. So congrats to him, and good luck this week.
There you go. Last one, Sunday night at 8:20 Eastern time on NBC. It's the 8-8 Ravens. They are a 3.5-point road favorite at 9-7 Pittsburgh. You're over/under on this one, 41.5. Battle for the AFC North, or as a friend of mine posted, the battle of the actual loser is the one who doesn't get to fire their coach for winning.
All right, here's the deal. We don't, at this point on Tuesday, know which quarterback we're going to see playing for the Baltimore Ravens, right?
Correct.
Having said that, give me Baltimore. Either way. I don't care who you play, right?
You done messed up, Aaron!
The Steelers stink, dude. And DK Metcalf probably threw this season away for them in the last 2 games.
Sucks.
Yeah.
This may go down as one. If they miss the play,
Idiot.
and they look as poor offensively as they did last week, DK Metcalf is going to be a very unpopular person in the city of Pittsburgh. Good thing you got rid of that problem kid Pickens. Anyway, give me the Ravens to cover 3.5. Either way, Huntley can cover 3.5 because they got a big guy behind him. And 41.5, I'm gonna take the under only because of defenses and the fact that Lamar might not play.
Yeah, look, the bad news for the Steelers, DK Metcalf has 4 more years on that deal.
God.
So if he's the reason that you're not going to the playoffs this year,
you dumbass.
He ain't going anywhere. And great PR if you try to move him. Yeah, look, Steelers stink. We've said it all year. I don't care the fact they got above 500. They got here because the rest of the division's been bad. But the biggest problem for the Steelers is they're probably still without TJ Watt. The rest of that defense is a shell of what it used to be. And the Baltimore Ravens remembered that they have arguably the best running back in football right now. So it's going to be a lot of Derrick Henry. It's going to be a lot of points for Baltimore. And it's going to be a lot of playoff exit for the Pittsburgh Steelers. Give me Ravens to win and to cover. I will take the under because the dying breath of Aaron Rodgers' career is going to be with very little points on his side of the ball. And I'm going to be so happy to watch this happen. I will have a Ravens hat ready Maybe I'll go buy a purple shirt this weekend. Go Ravens. We're a Harbaugh house. I don't know what to tell you.
There you go. He's a Harbaugh.
Evan has the Ravens and the under as well. So the NFL limping to the end of the regular season, and we are in a way as well. So, but that is where we close the book on the predictions for week number 18 in the NFL season. And now, Sean, we will look at the top 10, the bottom 5, our power rankings as we go into the final week of the regular season. Last time we do the full list. Next week we just start looking at where we think teams are on the playoff side. But Sean, give us your bottom 5 this week, please.
Bottom 5, we have a new addition at number 28, the Washington Commanders, who are awful. Giants, Cardinals, Jets, and the Raiders at number 32.
All right, looking over at EJ, 28 to 32, Cardinals, Titans, Giants, Jets, and Raiders. Mike has Browns, Chiefs, Commanders, Jets, and Raiders. And for me, I have Commanders, Cardinals, Giants, Jets, and Raiders. Similar boat for here all season. We talked about how like you have about 7 teams that belong in the bottom 5. That's expanded to about 8 or 9. I don't necessarily hate any of them.
At this point, it's pretty much who's playing worse right now.
Yeah,
like a team has a good game. Oh, good for you guys.
I get the Commanders. A lot of it is injury based, but oh boy,
correct.
Like for all the hype going into this season, where they've gone, the Cardinals again, they've won 1 game in like the last 11. Go Cowboys. Giants bad despite a win. Jets real bad. Raiders real bad. Pete Carroll still has a job apparently.
I guess.
Which
he's got years on his contract.
I mean, here's the deal: if you're bringing in Pete Carroll with this dog shit of a team, why would you fire him after 1 year anyway?
You're not going to.
Right, you're just not gonna. All right, Sean, your top 10, please.
Top 10, not a ton of new faces, but a lot of different position jockeying here. Number 10, I have the Chargers, who have dropped to clinging to life, along with the Rams. Eagles just above them at 8. I have the Texans at 7. Bears have fallen out of the top 5 to 6. The 49ers have claimed their spot in the top 5 at 5th. Then it closed out with my usual top 4, but a very different order. Broncos 4, Patriots 3, Seahawks 2, and your new number 1 on my top 10, the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Wow. Okay. I thought I was going to have them as the highest, but I do not. EJ finally has the Bears in at 10, moving up after the loss. Okay. 10 Bears, Chargers, Jaguars, Niners, Texans, his top 5, Eagles, Broncos, Rams, Patriots, and Seahawks. For Mike, starting at 10 and going up, Eagles, Chargers, Rams, Bears, Texans. Your top 5 for Mike, Jaguars, 49ers, Broncos, Patriots, and Seahawks. For me, my Chargers still clinging on at number 10. Then Texans, 49ers find their way in. There you go, Jason. Eagles at 7, Rams 6. Then top 5, I have Patriots, Bears, Jaguars, Broncos, and Seahawks. So the Bills, I guess, moved out of EJ's. I think that's what brought the Bears in, which I've been asking him to get the Bears in there. It's just kind of funny to see them finally crack the top 10 after a loss. Although, again, scoring 38 points.
It makes more sense than it has in weeks.
Sure.
There's still some questions, but
so for you, the Niners with the biggest swing, because you didn't have them on your list a week ago, all the way
I
up.
implied that they probably should have been 10th,
right?
But I had the Saints in to give them credit for a hot streak.
Which is fair. Don't hate it. So they make your biggest move up to 5. Is that just? I mean, because they beat the team you had at number 1, so they have.
I mean, I've given a lot of teams a lot of space here based on record, is for the most part, and then I kind of jockey based on what you're showing me. Now, it's not always completely record based, but I've had issues with the Patriots and their schedule. But there's only so much you can do now with a game to go. And I challenged the 49ers sitting at 10. And I challenged them to show me that you can beat one of these top tier teams, at least here in the second half of the season. And they did. I don't, again, defensively, I don't know if that makes it less convincing, but they did it. They have bested the Bears, and they have no reason being behind them as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah. Look, they've certainly been the Patriots they've had some questions, but for the Niners, there's been questions all year. I said if they'd win, they'd get in. And I got them there. And I'm actually confident where I have them. I have them the lowest. Right. I think surprisingly, EJ only has them at 7.
Right. I would expect him to be a little higher, maybe.
Like when we play the who do you trust game,
who do you trust?
He's been one of the guys that's probably overinflated the Niners at times, not anywhere near what he does with the Chiefs. So surprised only to see him put him at 7, but I think that's one he actually got pretty right. Because
and now the 49ers are one of the, because we're in what I would call conference championship week for the NFL, where there's a lot of teams playing meaningless games, and then there's because there's going to be some of these teams that may take a loss while resting starters, and I'm obviously not planning on punishing them. But if you're in a game that matters and you're on this list, for the most part, it shouldn't hurt you if it's a good show. But if San Francisco, or the other way around, if Seattle would come out and get absolutely steamrolled in San Francisco and just not show up, and Sam Darnold shows that he is still Sam Darnold, you might see them plummet quite a bit down this list. I doubt anyone's going to fall off. I don't even know if any teams are actually trying that could fall off. But, we'll see. I think the Bears are going to come out and try. And if the Lions trounce them, they're in danger.
Sure.
But,
sure.
Where it's like, oh, maybe this is still the Bears. And then we can play a song and kick them out of my top 10. It'd be great.
Jaguars Seahawks, you have them 1 and 2. You had the Jaguars ahead of them last week. Neither team super impressive this past week. A 6-point win for Jacksonville over the Phillip Rivers led Colts.
Yeah, that's Hall of Famer Phillip Rivers.
Well, that's true. And the Colts did announce Riley Leonard will start.
Correct.
As is the right move. Let's be fair.
No doubt.
The playoff hopes have ended. You have a rookie quarterback. You might as well give him a shot. It was tremendous to see Rivers back on the field. And
wanted to see him win one.
Man, I wanted to see him win one. I really wanted to see him get into the playoffs. What a story that would have been. Seattle gets a 17-point win over Carolina. Did you give any thought to Seattle moving ahead, or is it just
I did
playing bad?
I did, but ultimately, it was like a lot of teams at the top just weren't showing much, and I don't know how impressive. I think I would have expected the Seahawks to pummel the Panthers. So, is that a good spread? Yeah, I'm not saying that you have to go out and pull college football here and blow the tires off them, but it didn't feel as impressive as the score showed. Right. So, whereas the Jaguars, I thought, while the score was close, they were in a game where, as a team trying to close out your division, we're in a division game with a team that did start off the year quite hot, and you fell down 10 points early. And instead of what normally happens with the Jacksonville Jaguars or teams that are pretending to be a contender, they panic and it gets worse, and you start digging a hole, and it's terrible. The Jaguars did not. They did what I would expect a top-tier team to do. They stuck to the game plan. They righted the ship. Trevor Lawrence looked poised. He looked ready to play. And when no one was there to help him, he was doing it himself. And I thought that both the coaching and Trevor Lawrence looked very poised and looked like a top contender this week, despite the fact the score may not have. So I didn't see any reason to really push them down.
All right, very good. Any questions, thoughts otherwise?
No, I'm sure I could pick apart EJ's. I'm very good at picking him apart, but I don't have to do that. I guess on yours for me, ours are always very pretty much what it looks like. Ours are fairly close. I think you still have the Rams fairly high here. Is this a don't panic? Well, I mean, obviously, I could ask the same question to EJ if he were here at 3.
Yeah, well,
His number 3 team just lost to the Falcons.
Yeah, that. I mean, to be fair, he had them at 1 last week, incorrectly, but he had them at 1, so at least he punished them this week. Yeah, for me, I wanted to put them a little bit lower. I still think they're better than the Niners, and I get it was also weather related, but I mean, the Eagles had 8 yards in the second half on Sunday. Like, they didn't. Sorry, I shorted them that.
0 passing.
0 passing. That's what it was. Now defensively, they obviously stymied a really good offense, but I didn't feel over inspired by them. I'd probably still pick the Rams to win if they played this weekend. But they're kind of.
I'd like to remind you that the Eagles beat the Rams head to head. So because you have us behind them, we're planning a full smear campaign against you, Jim.
Well, that seems about right.
We're going to whine a lot and post on Twitter until someone puts us back ahead.
That's great. That's great. Miami! All right, yeah, that's where we will wrap up on the power rankings for the week, and we'll close up the show, Sean, in the only way we know
You better
how.
lock it up. You better lock it up. No, you lock it up. You lock it up. Lock it up. Lock it up.
We look ahead to the weekend that will be, and we predict one thing, or we announce one thing that will happen. So, Sean, what will happen this week?
It's such a horrendous week to do this because I don't even know on a Tuesday. I don't even know which teams are starting people. Like, I don't know. I could guarantee you that Herbert has less than 100 yards passing. I can guarantee you that. I mean, if I was going to, we already called the Ravens-Steelers game, so I can't lock that up.
Yep.
Because I would have locked that up in a heartbeat. Let me just scroll through it here. Texans can't call that. Jaguars can't call that. All right, here's what I'll call then.
Here we go.
I'm going to go out on a limb. Why not? Because I need it to happen.
Why not?
Even though the Eagles, through some leaked hinting quotes from Sirianni, may show that the Eagles may not actually start their starters, despite the fact they can get the 2 seed. And I think that's dumb for a lot of reasons. But I am going to lock up that Man Campbell inspires his team one more time.
Just one last time.
He doesn't want to finish below 500, Jim. There's a chance he will finish below the Vikings. He can. I mean, technically, he's behind them now. He needs some help to get ahead of the Vikings, but he's going to do everything in his power to do it, and that team's going to come out inspired after 2 ridiculously flat-looking efforts. They're going to try to give their fans something to cling to, and I think that the Detroit Lions upset your Chicago Bears, and you can lock that up.
Lock it up.
Devin has his lock of the week. Mike McDaniels, and maybe this is just a new hope for the new year, will not have a job come Monday.
Lock it up.
There you go.
Cut to the Sunday. The Dolphins upset the Patriots. Just take another win, and then Miami's going to say, we're 8-9. It's not terrible.
Devin's just pissed. God damn. Look, I'm going full Marge. Full homer on this one. Tomorrow, 3 p.m. Eastern time. Interim head coach Biff Poggi gets his second win as interim head coach. He coached earlier this season in a game. He gets a W over preseason number 1, by the way, the Texas Longhorns, as Michigan, delivering yet another L. And they are racking them up to the SEC conference. And I want to hear the post game. I want to see if we get another clip from Biff.
I'm going to eat some Haagen-Dazs coffee ice cream with my wife and smoke a Cuban cigar and then probably go to the hospital.
Like, I just want to see what the post game with Biff Poggi is in the Cheez-It Citrus Bowl. The Cinderella story writes itself. So
Did it say Cheez-It Citrus Bowl?
the Cheez-Its is the sponsor. Yeah.
Oh God, there's nothing citrusy about Cheez-Its, and for a reason. They should have to design a citrus flavored Cheez-It just for the bowl and force everyone to eat it.
God,
if you're gonna watch this, you have to send a picture.
Probably go to the hospital.
That might be the most well-timed use of the soundboard that has ever existed.
It's pretty perfect. All right, Sean, we're going to wrap it up for this week, for 2025. Let them know where they can follow you.
Well, as always, you can follow me on the Twitter at SeanShineState. We've been sharing some funny videos over there and some sports knowledge, so feel free to check us out. You can also catch me following the Philadelphia Eagles, of course. Go Birds, and their number one ranked defense over the last 8 games. Hey, 14.5 points a game given up by the defense over the last 8. That's their best stretch since 2004 with Jim Johnson. Fangio's got that thing locked up. I don't care if his starters are playing or not. They should be able to beat Washington without him. So catch me following them. And, hey, whether you're following me or not, have yourself a good new year. Be safe out there, ring it in. And if your week's not going super well here, the rolling into the new year, don't panic. At least you're not one of the Diggs brothers. We'll catch you on the other side. 26.
You ain't kidding, Devin. Happy New Year as well. Yeah. Whatever you do, be safe. That's the big thing. You can follow me at Big Jim Sports on Twitter and Blue Sky. But most importantly, make sure you're following along with the show. Scan the QR code top right corner of your screen. That'll get you to our link tree. Everything Huddle Up related is there. YouTube, merchandise, all the social channels, podcast feeds, everything is there. We're on all podcast platforms. Really, the YouTube is such a great place. All of our shows go there. We have our clips, all of that, all in one place. Tons of interaction over on that page. So appreciate all the support there. Grab some merchandise for the new year. Maybe you're starting off going to the gym, want to lose some weight, got to get some new gear. Grab it from our T Public store. Give something back to your favorite podcasters. But yeah, thank you for another great year. Didn't have as much off-season content in 2025 as we normally have. Hopefully we'll rectify that in 2026 as we'll stay on track in the postseason. But I thank you for your support all the time. We love everything. We would not be here if not for the listeners. So certainly do appreciate you. Until next week, next year, stay safe, stay smart, and as always, go for the win.